Well, Big U and the whole Rollin 60s RICO situation.
Debo.
Yeah, well, you know something. You know what's funny is we had posted this. We had interviewed Debo from Friday, and he said that he based his character on Big U.
Yeah.
I told you I pulled that from Big U. I used him as my background of how I wanted this character to be perceived. Because the whole thing about how bad this guy was is when Ice Cube pulled the gun on him. He said, "What you gonna do with that?" Besides, make me mad. That was cold-blooded. That was it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen the clip of Big U saying that same thing too.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It's a true story. And look, I just want to say this before we start. I've always been cool with Big U. I have not had one negative experience with Big U. He came in, did an interview. It was a dope-ass interview. We kept in contact. He would call me every so often. I would call him every so often. We would have cool conversations. There was never any checking in.
He didn't make you do the interview? He didn't say, "Hey, Vlad, you're going to put me on there"?
No, I wanted to do the interview.
Don't let a new piece of paperwork come out saying that Vlad TV had you in the back like this here.
Why would I not want to do that interview? Like,
man, they said he's stepping on everything over there. Everything. The rappers, the athletes, fucking everybody over there apparently is up under Big U. And you know what's crazy? Is it wasn't that long ago, maybe a year, maybe 2 years, Big U, when I was living in Boston, he was visiting because he was speaking at Harvard.
Wow.
One of the most prestigious universities, you know? And this is in Cambridge. It's right across the street from Boston. And Big U was speaking at Harvard. And I think he was the one that had the stories about when he was in prison and he went at it with like 80 of the Mexicans and was just smashing them left and right and this and that. And I was like, how the fuck did he get to Harvard? And he's just, you know, against the gangs and everything's all this. And then this whole shit comes out and I'm like, damn, this is fucking crazy.
Look, I'll say this on the record publicly. Big U has never extorted me on any level. On any level. And he could have been like, yeah, you know, you're in LA now, you're doing, you know, business with Crips and Rollin 60s or whatever. I'm going to need a little something off this, or you're going to need to put on my artist or whatever else. None of that ever. At all. At all. Really just positive experiences with him the entire time.
Did you see the clip of him and Chris Brown?
Nah.
Big U sitting next to Chris Brown. He's like, yeah, you know, he just donated 500 sneakers to the kids in the community, and he's about to donate another 500. And Chris is just like, like, some people put in the caption like he didn't even know he was about to donate another 500. It's just, bro, that whole case, you know, what pissed me off about it too was everybody was trying to act like this was a product of Adam22 getting people locked up and that No Jumper was the cause of the Rollin 60s indictment, when in all actuality, it's people committing crimes and then people talking about the crimes that they're committing. And for a while, you know, Bricc Baby, me and him have had a cool, you know, we've communicated throughout the years, and I just always thought he said a lot and implicated himself in a lot of things that put him in a position where, yeah, people are gonna watch you, you know? Like, there was a lot of rumors of him having to do something with the Dirk situation and Lil Pab's death and people speaking on that, and he would make jokes and he would this and he would that. And then when it came to the 60s, Luce Cannon, him and Luce went at it, and he's like, oh, who put you on? What street was it? Name 5 people. And it's like, bro, like, you're saying, name the 5 people that made you a Rollin 60s Crip gang member on a fucking podcast with however many millions of viewers, and we're gonna act like this ain't some shit that the feds aren't gonna listen to.
Yeah, I mean, Bricc Baby was my man. He had done, like, I think 3 interviews on Vlad TV. He was actually our newest regular guest on Vlad TV.
Yeah.
And once again, only positive interactions with him. In fact, I ran into him at the Beverly Center Mall like 3 days before he got arrested.
Right.
just randomly. I'm like, oh shit, what's up? You know, we hug. I'm like, you good? Hey, get you back on the show. Yeah, of course. Like you could tell, like he had no idea what was about to happen.
Yeah, and
you know,
I mean,
in retrospect, when you think about it, it's like, damn, like you're just living your life. You're at the mall. You got your family with you, and then next thing you know, you're in jail.
Yeah, Bricc became one of the top hosts at No Jumper, and then I remember recently there was a post. He got his daughter, I think it was her 16th birthday or 18th. He got her a car or something or whatever, and you know. But there's just been a lot of situations when he's walked the line of saying too much, and shit just came and bit him in the ass. And then Luce Cannon, that motherfucker just says whatever the fuck he wants to.
Yeah, I've always avoided Luce Cannon. Luce Cannon has been wanting to be on my show. He's DM'd me multiple times. People that we know in common have reached out, say, hey, Luce Cannon wants to talk to you. And I'm like, too much drama. Especially after seeing that brawl, you know, in the No Jumper parking lot. I was like, oh, hell no, I don't want this guy around.
No, it's not good for the business. And at the same time, it's like, bro, literally, if you read the federal paperwork, all of the counts in the indictment is shit that he was saying he participated in or Big U did while on No Jumper. So it's like you're describing robbing Meek Mills and you're describing Big U was doing this and just crazy shit.
Right, but I was always under the impression that not everything, but for certain things, Luce Cannon was just lying. So, you know, Meek Mill said, I've never been kidnapped. Now, people, he's lying because he got kidnapped. No, it kind of seems sincere. It's like, yo, I've never been kidnapped. And if you really think about it, someone who's as big as Meek Mill and all they want is 50,000 seems like you can get a little more from Meek Mill if you're really kidnapping this guy. I'm just saying. You might be able to get 500,000 from a Meek Mill kidnapping.
Well, it would be insane to think that dude created up a whole bunch of bullshit stories and then got indicted over it.
Right. You know, because the problem I always had with Luce was that when he went on No Jumper and he said, oh, Big U backdoor Nipsey Hussle. Like he knew that Nipsey was going to get killed by Eric Holder and he let it happen. And I'm like, yo, this is just stupid. And I remember I called you. Like I called Big U that day. I said, yo, I'm sorry you're going through this. Like that was our conversation. If that conversation was being taped by the feds, I'm saying what I'm talking about right now on camera.
And he apparently sent a cease and desist to No Jumper and Luce Cannon, and that was the reason the feds went to Adam22's house, was they wanted to cease and desist to him, or whatever evidence, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, Luce Cannon, like I said, he also said that him and Big U were at the Roscoe's when PNB Rock got killed. It's like, really? Like this? I mean, there's actual video footage of the incident. You don't see them in there. Like, I've never heard of this before until he said it. So I think a lot of the stuff was just, you know, lies to get, you know, moments to go viral with.
Right.
You know, but now he's in jail, and I don't know, like I'd heard
he's real viral now.
Yeah, he's going viral now. I mean, I heard some of the stuff is like, but I guess I haven't read through the paperwork carefully, but they're saying that some of the stuff he talked about in podcasts actually happened, and he's actually describing actual criminal events in conversations. But Big U has a 43-count indictment. So he's charged with RICO, 2 counts of conspiracy to interfere with commerce by robbery and extortion, the Hobbs Act, 1 count of Hobbs Act robbery, 9 counts of attempted Hobbs Act extortion, 5 counts of Hobbs Act extortion, 1 count of transportation of an individual in interstate commerce with the intent that the individual engage in prostitution, the Mann Act, 15 counts of wire fraud, 5 counts of embezzlement, conversion and intentional misapplication of funds from an organization receiving federal funds, 1 count of bank fraud, 1 count of tax evasion, 2 counts of willful failure to file a tax return. And then there's all the other people that are being charged. And Luce Cannon and Bricc Baby are 2 of them, but there's looks like maybe about 8 other people as well. If convicted, he's facing a statutory maximum of 20 years in prison just for the racketeering conspiracy count. The bank fraud is another 30 years. So you count it all up, and he's looking at life in prison, especially I think he's in his 50s at this point.
Yeah. I mean, they got him tied into a murder where allegedly his DNA was found under the dude's skin. Fingernails or some shit.
No. Let's clear that up, because if you watch the podcast where it was like me, Adam, Academics, Traplo Ross, Whack 100, and Remo, they went into this whole situation. Now, there was DNA that was found that was inconclusive, but it was inconclusive for Big U, but it ruled out the other person, the driver. They're saying it's definitely not the driver, but it's inconclusive for Big U. People are putting out, oh, Big U's DNA under the fingernails. Inconclusive. You go to trial, and you tell the jury, inconclusive, they're not going to, that's reasonable doubt.
Is he charged with that murder?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Hold on a second. R.W. Yeah, so Big U's also accused of the 2021 murder of aspiring music artist R.W. R.W. signed to Unique Music, Big U's music label. Big U allegedly shot and killed R.W., who had recorded a defamatory song about him. Big U then dragged the victim's body off Interstate 15 in Las Vegas and left it in a ditch, according to the paperwork. So I guess this guy was a rapper that Big U had signed, had done a diss record at the studio Big U had booked for him. I guess this was Marley Marl studio in Las Vegas. And I guess what they're saying is once Big U found out about it, he showed up and he killed him. I hope that's not true. I mean, to kill someone over a diss song is insane.
Yeah.
Especially when you're someone as, at the age of a Big U and as established as he is, and,
You would think that he would have somebody that he could have do that for him instead of him doing that himself. But you can't put nothing past nobody. So at the end of the day, bro, you can be like he's in his 50s, but if you go to the feds, all the gang leaders are in their 50s and 60s. All the biggest names are that old.
Yeah.
Those are the guys that write the tickets, and then the ticket gets booked, and the little young hitter goes and gets you. So it's like that's the age of the guys that are running the prison system.